Good afternoon, YouTube fans. Admiral Preparedness here. Just staying up with the technology that's around us, happening all around us. Hey, have you noticed that when you post a YouTube video with advertising, you're starting to get multiple ads per entry? And I've seen some that are skippable, and I've seen some that aren't. But I'll be honest with you, folks. I monetize each and every one of my videos, and if it happens to slip through and allow it to be monetized, I don't make but pennies. So I'm going to ask you a favor for all my subscribers out there that really like this channel and want to see it keep going. If you could just watch the commercial while you're just before you select my what I'm saying is, please watch the video before my video. I get everybody gets a little bit of the action, and today everything helps. And if you know what this is, what I'm showing you here, this is the Elon Musk SpaceX, and these guys are on the fast lane to getting humanity off this planet. And this is a prototype. These are all mock-ups and design, and they got to build a test, just like the military and NASA. So they have to build a test to build. And these guys are doing a good job. I'm very impressed with him. He's invested his own money the first few years, and I mean, the guy's a freaking genius. I mean, he's just like the guy like I was when I was growing up, going, I want these dreams, I want these things to happen. And you waited on somebody else to do it. He got tired of waiting. And I commend him. Chuck Yeager out there at the Mojave Desert with the bird he's got flying. You got Bigelow Aerospace, the guys who want to put big blow-ups out there. You got all the other big leaders. If these guys could just join hands, and this would have been done 5-15 years ago, because all that brain power that they can afford to buy, all those kids out there who want to dream and can put it down on paper and pen and ink and computers and diagrams and drawings and get this stuff done, I'm all for it. I've been a space fan since day one when I saw my first Mercury astronaut skyward as a test pilot in a can. I mean, these guys, NASA really was meticulous. I've worked for them. I know how they are. Their procedure, safety. But it's a bureaucracy. And with all bureaucracies, you've got that built-in delay mechanism. Shuttle, I got to work on the space shuttle program out at NASA, at Edwards Air Force Base, where we would track the shuttle while it was on orbit. If it came over our area, we would track it every time. And if it was landing at Edwards, and during the Kennedy landings, we would be prepped, ready to go in case it was aboard or they had to go around or whatever. But we were up there at the hill called the ATF, Aeronautical Test Facility, ATF-1. It's a radar telemetry site. I had a blast. It was a lot of fun, a lot of good people, and of course the hurry up and wait kind of stuff. But that's government. Again, it's bureaucracy. But with these guys, they are making this stuff happen. It's almost, if you could have done this back in the 70s, we would be already on Mars. We would already have our habitats on the moon. We would have international agreements set up where the L9, the space transportation system, my concept of how you do this is in baby steps. It's like anything else in human development. We always send out probes. We're doing that. We want to send out our first little touchy trippy. We did that with the Apollo program. We did the low Earth orbit studies. This is for humans to be able to stay in space. We need to understand how the physiology and the psychology and my question to you, if you're anything interested in this, is: have any of the astronauts become ill while in space? And it's never been reported. So why not take sick people up there and get that physiology out of the way? No time like the present to find out how to treat and care for patients that are sick in space, because you're going to Mars. So maybe you should practice that here real time. that's just a suggestion for anybody out there who has a finger in the bureaucracy now with the government. I'm sure Elon, he ain't listening to me, but I've mentioned it to his guys. Like, take sick people up. I mean, you can still do the proper procedures for isolation, all that kind of stuff, but just get it done. I mean, if people vomit in space, we've seen that before with the Apollo, Jiminy Mercury. Jiminy Mercury, people got sick. They upchecked and stuff. During the Apollo mission, one of the astronauts had a urinary infection, so we know a little bit about that part of it. But how about a full-blown, cancer? How about a full-blown aneurysm? How about a full-blown? Well, there's everybody had a heart attack, so we'll go back and talk about that later. But the question is long-term illnesses. I'd like to see it. I'm sure they're testing it in the laboratory out the wazoo. We just don't get shared that data, but cool to watch. But anyway, this is Elon Musk. This is his explosion where the top popped off of a test. This is basically they call it a risk reduction test article where they build a prototype and then all the electronic wiring, all the cabling, they verify all that neat stuff, braces and structures to make sure. This was a weld test. Real-time weld test. It's called destructive. They have to do it. You got to destroy it to find out how it reacts. Excellent. And then of course now we're talking about the new version, which is the Mach 3. These are all mock-ups again. Like I said, the earlier ones aren't meant to do anything but sit there and do provide engineering data for the assembly, but otherwise. This is the kind of stuff that keeps me occupied at the time being. I love space. I've always been a space. I knew the astronauts' names before I knew football and baseball players. I could tell you where they lived, what school, university, military organization, if they were military, and their current status back then, in the 60s and 70s, 80s, and 90s. Today, when I left NASA in 2004, that was it. You move on and just, do what you got to do. So there, folks. Love that, Orlando. I'm going to stop right now. Something's coming up. I'm going to prepare this here. Just remember, folks, like, subscribe, share, and go out there and please watch the commercials. I hate saying that, but it is what it is. Bye now. Merry Christmas. Happy holidays, everybody. God loves us all.